So the MVP for this class is dog-friendly pastries, and I'll give you a little overview of my business plan first. So it is called Wags of Happiness Cafe, and it is a one-of-a-kind cafe that is set to be located in Omaha. The whole premise around it is that it will offer these dog-friendly pastries to obviously the dogs that come in, but also it will offer healthy menu items for their owners or honestly anybody who wants to come in and just enjoy the company of others, dogs, anything they want to do. So everyone is welcome. So a little bit about the specific MVP is obviously it will be these dog-friendly pastries, which are going to be essentially one of the biggest keys in the business that I have set to have open. So I have decided to create three different types of pastry. So the first is just a typical dog biscuit with very simple ingredients. The second is a carrot and banana dog treat. And then the third will be a vegan slash gluten-free cupcake. So the reason I wanted to do all of these offerings is because I know everybody kind of has, just like with themselves and their children, everybody has a certain diet that they want their dog to be on. And so I wanted to offer a little bit of options for everyone, no matter your dietary preferences. So doing that would allow these regular biscuits, flavored biscuits, I guess you could say, with the carrot banana, and then obviously these vegan and gluten-free options. So I'll start by doing just $1.50 per pastry, and as I kind of start, I think it'll just be more of a you buy one for $1.50, but you can buy as many as you want, but we don't buy in bulk. So what I mean by that is you buy $1.50, but you could buy 10, 20, 30 all you want, but it wouldn't be like you can buy 20 for $15 or anything like that. Just kind of start out to see people's preferences of what they want, the demand, how well they think that a product like this would be sold. So these are actually just the pastry recipes of the three items that I've spoken about already. I know you can't read the vegan cupcakes, but essentially all of it is just very, very basic ingredients that are healthy, obviously, for dogs and super cheap for humans, as I like to say in this case, for humans to make for their pets. So my sales strategy is actually pretty simple. So the three places would be the local pet stores, local craft fairs, and local farmers markets. So I think local pet stores is kind of a little bit of a no-brainer, as everybody going in there will have some type of pet, and more than likely it'll be dogs and cats. And so being able to sell at the pet stores will not only allow people to see these dog-friendly pastries, get to learn about the future business, get their feedback on what they think, if they would come to the cafe, if they would even buy these dog-friendly pastries in the future, anything that would happen. It would also allow the main demographic, even though the demographic, what I'll talk about later, would be a little of everybody. The main demographic would be those who own dogs. So then local craft fairs. So the reason I wanted to do local craft fairs was simply because as craft fairs are like homemade items. So these dog-friendly pastries would be these homemade items that I had chose to do. So it would also set itself apart from other items being sold at the craft fair. So for instance, a lot of times these craft fairs are paintings or pictures or homemade jewelry or homemade candles, and you don't really see a lot of food necessarily in general. So it will be able to set itself apart. And then it would also allow for more demographic, more type of people to see the business that I want to create, to get the word out even more, instead of just the pet stores and those who own pets. And then lastly would be the local farmers markets, which another reason I wanted to do this would be because for the cafe in general, something that I really want to do would be seasonally and locally grown produce, and allowing that at the farmers market. I could see all the demographic of people there. It would allow me to see or to hear feedback from those who would also be willing to purchase these pastries while they're shopping for their farmers market. So people who want to eat healthy and also spend time with their dog would be perfect, which is why I want to do farmers market as a sales strategy as well. So the sales estimate is actually rather difficult for me since I am living in Italy. The main thing I had to do was just kind of email individuals and get their feedback, um, the overall idea of what I want to do. So two of these individuals were actually two of the financial lenders that I talked about. I kind of just put it in there what I wanted to do with my MVP. And then a couple were my teammates that they have dogs, and then the others were just people from back home that either have had dogs, they live close to me, they that we've talked to. So just kind of get a little bit of feedback from everyone with dogs or without dogs, and just what their take is. So the total number of people that actually ended up getting interviewed or that responded back was 15. And so as you can see in the slide, the number of individuals that agreed to purchase pastries would be 11 of 15. Those who agreed to attend a dog-friendly cafe was 13 out of 15. And then another would be the individuals who agreed upon the price point for these pastries. And although this was just more so for future that I wanted to ask about the price point, what I would give the prices for the pastries when I'm actually in the cafe. And obviously you can see a little over half of them agreed to that. So that's kind of a little bit of feedback that I could take for the cafe later on down the road. And then the sales projections was actually difficult because of the reason that I didn't get to be able to truly go out and sell them. But I would say that the sales projection is very high. Going along with that, also to the second column on the right, or is basically the feedback I had received, or the comments as to why individuals would be willing or would not be willing to buy these dog-friendly pastries. And I mean, just to go over a little bit, one said that they didn't want to spend $1.50 when you can go buy boxes of flavored dog biscuits at the store. One really enjoys helping out either small businesses, local businesses, homemade businesses, whatever you want to call it. So she was willing to help out, and she would be wanting to purchase no matter what it would be. And then another would be just a great way to have a variety for dogs rather than just what we would consider plain food, even though that's all they're used to. So then, lastly, my reflection on this experience. So I actually really enjoyed the experience as a whole, and I'm going to include a little bit of the business plan, the financial lender, and all that in it, as well as the experience. But having the feedback from all these individuals, both during the business plan, the financial lenders, and then during this MVP experience also, it actually opened my eyes to a lot of things that go into opening a business. It's not just pen and paper, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to get it done. But I was also very surprised at how positive the response was for this MVP. I can't say that I expected it to be negative, but I was unsure of how people were going to take a dog-friendly approach to a product, because living in Europe, dogs are everywhere. No matter where you go, you're always going to see a dog, whereas back in the US, I don't think a lot of people are allowed, I don't know if they're allowed, but are allowed to bring their dogs to normal everyday public places. And so that's why another reason I wanted to do this cafe is dogs are in restaurants almost every single time you go somewhere. And I want to bring that to the US because dogs obviously are stress relievers. They provide so many benefits to humans. But then also the second reflection is when I come back to the US, it's actually something that I think I might want to start doing. I know that in itself could be a kind of like a little side business, but creating dog pastries, selling them at local places is something that, with all this positive feedback, I think would be really fun to do. And then lastly, a reflection would also be to open the cafe maybe later on down the line with, again, all the feedback with the plan, the financial lender. All of the feedback, I learned so much about the business side of running a business, what it takes, the positive feedback I received, and then also even negative feedback, and what I truly learned as far as all the people you have to be involved, all the little things you have to think about in opening a business, and how I have just like such much more appreciation for what it takes for all those individuals who have opened a small business of their own.